Alex took a shoulder, so he's been limited. And we'll just see how he feels tomorrow. He's not been in practice the last 2 days. Samson went, Samson, though, on a positive note, did some first time actually playing today, like in live situations. So that was a positive development. The last couple of days, he's making good progress. So we'll see. I mean, we're hopeful Alex may be able to practice tomorrow, but I mean, he's heading for maybe that game time decision, the dreaded game time decision.
Is that at Marquette when you
cat and mouse? Yeah, he was. I mean, he's such a tough guy. Just played through it and didn't really feel it to the next day. So the X-rays, MRIs, got a ton of testing. Everything looks good there. It's just a matter of whether he'll be good enough to go. But that's what you get from Alex Caravan. Guy's the best.
Speaking of Alex, that game, was there a conversation going in where it's like, he said afterwards he wanted to diversify his game?
Yeah, he did a better job, I think, of moving and cutting, and it's all about finding opportunities. When you get a chance to make plays, you got to take advantage of the opportunities to make plays, whether that's by getting on the offensive glass, cutting, moving along the three-point line, driving the ball. Really, obviously, the last 2 road games against really good teams in tough environments, just really impressed with how the 2 freshmen played.
Yeah, obviously that's a good sign when you have your freshmen play well, and you've talked about them being your best offensive players. On the other side, you need some other guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all got to be better. We got to, across the board, we got to, got to coach better, got to play better. It's hard. It's hard to win on the road. To begin with, it's hard to win on the road versus, those teams. Those teams are not likely to lose many games at home, if any. Those places that we didn't win in, so it's not uncommon. Though we may be a little bit tight lately. I don't know if the pressure of being ranked high, the pressure of trying to win that first regular season championship. I think that we all want to do that very badly. We want to get that first one, in a long time here, and the players are, players that think going to be. We got to play a little more joy and a little bit more. I think playing at home, obviously, need the XL Center to be the type of atmosphere, for us that it's, that we've played in for these other teams.
How can you release some of that pressure then?
Just remind them that we've had a great year, and that if anything we've overperformed, but that we're that we believe ourselves to be a top team that went and lost 2 games at Xavier and Marquette where we know we could have played better, but still had chances down the stretch to walk away with a win. Providence. We didn't give ourselves quite the same chance, but remind them it's hard to win on the road. Not many people are going to win in the places that we lost. The things we want to accomplish with the regular season are still in place, but we've got to defend home court, and then find a way to win on the road. But we've got to start with defending our home court on Sunday.
St. John's, they played you pretty tough the last couple of years. A couple of overtime games, they beat you 2 years ago, one of the last teams to do that.
Yeah.
Is it something about their style that obviously he really plays the kind of full court, defensive pressure type game?
Yeah. They're hard to play against. I think they play the motion offense, so you can't always script the things you're going to see from them offensively. Really aggressive attacking players. I think we don't have that attacking aggression advantage when you play against Posh, and obviously Champagne was one of the best scorers in the country. They've played, I think, in the last 2 games. They were right there in the Providence game. They had a chance to win that one on the road. I mean, they were right there, and then. And then they played really well against Butler. So they've resembled, I think, more of the team in the preseason that people, said was a potential NCAA tournament team. The last 2 games, they've looked more like it. Pasha's been more of himself. Story has been a nice and young kind of live body. Carvello coming off the bench. I mean, when they get those guards out there with Jones, and they get some serious firepower on the perimeter, and then obviously what the big guy's done with his body and his game, and he leads the country in double doubles, and he's completely transformed his body, and he's playing above the rim, and it's impressive. We got great pieces. It's hard to win though. So.
How do you get some easier offense especially with your guards? You could look at the shooting percentages in the Big East play; it's way down, and now usually those drop in the Big East because of the defense and the opponents know you. But how do you kind of get their scoring up a little bit?
Yeah, I think change. Try to make some small adjustments, but and maybe some wrinkles. But a lot of time it's just just getting better. Just being more detailed. Maybe the screens are not being set at quite the place where we need them to be set. Maybe the guy using the screen is not, getting his defender exactly to that point where you need to when the games get tighter and the opponents know you better, and the officials allow more, they allow more physicality at the off the ball and on the ball. So I just think that there's obviously. We've played at a high level. There's, we do need the guard. When opportunities present themselves for guards to go make more plays and go get more paint and to create more opportunities, we need them to do that. They can't be as robotic as they've been. Because you can't, you can't call up, you can't play offense by making the perfect play call every time down court. This thing comes down to players being in position to go out and make plays and make shots and create off the dribble and throw it in the post and get in the ball screen game and just do stuff. And I think that we tried to do the best we could the last couple of days of trying to identify the things. But the other day I thought it was our defense that give 60% in the second half. Felt like, we weren't going to win a game in the 80s against Marquette at their home. So we felt like, we scored enough points to win the game. We needed to win that one 76-72. We gave up over 50% for the field and 60% in the second half.
Where do you think Jordan can take another step?
Still a young player. Sometimes you give the other person credit. Prosper is a big physical guy that had his hands on him, and I think it's some things we take from that he's taken from it, and we can utilize and learn from it. And I think it's just part of a sophomore player who has a lot of responsibility in terms of giving us the perimeter scoring. Just kind of. Figuring out ways to cut better, to use screens better, to play with a live dribble better and do some things and to be better defensively. I think that was where, again, I think it was, this is about like finding a way to win the game. And, if you're having a bad offensive night, then, you got to go get 8 or 9 rebounds. You got to lock your guy up on defense. That's the path to victory on a given night. It's not always going to be, really pretty out there, and especially Big East games.
How much do you see teams changing the way they play Jordan based on what he's done this year? Have you noticed a difference?
It's just, I think that the difference is, the physicality of the game. When the non-conference, there's a lot of whistles. I mean, they call a lot more fouls. Again, tournament. I think the good thing for our team, once we get to that point, hopefully, if we put ourselves in position to go again, is that, you get games that are going to be, called pretty tight, which I think in the past hasn't always been to our benefit, but I think it is to our benefit when games are called a little bit tighter, because that's where the depth kicks in more, and, we do more in terms of we need the freedom of movement for us to be as good as we can be offensively.
On a broader kind of scale with Jordan, do you think that there's another element of his game that can be unlocked still?
Yeah, definitely. It's he's halfway through his sophomore year in college, and the guy's he's a heck of an NBA draft prospect, and he's played really to be a 15-point a game scorer as a sophomore here, whatever he's getting, and giving us that primary perimeter scoring on a team that has been ranked in the top, been ranked as high as 2 and 4 and 6, and like he's delivered for us. But this year's also a learning experience, and it's how good is he 10 games from now? How good is he in March when he sees that type of defense in the Big East tournament? I think that's what it's all about.
What's impressed you? Go ahead, Dave. You jump in.
No, just about Tristan. Do you need a little more from him as a point guard?
Listen, I tell people, and I've said this to him, we're asking him to do something that, as good as RJ, as great as RJ was for us, as a senior, he sat a year, had some ups and downs, got benched midway through his first year eligible, got benched out at Xavier, or at Providence, and then carried over to Xavier, and it took kind of getting to rock bottom after sitting out a year. So, these are much different the types of games than he's played in. He's played, really, really, I think, effectively in terms of helping us win, positional size, length. He's made our offense better by keeping that ball moving, and he's been a clutch free throw shooter, and his assist to turnover has been good. I need him. I've done not a good job of putting him in better positions to attack more and play with more aggression and to look to create and make more plays, and that's on me, and we're trying to rectify that right now. But we've got to turn him loose more, and instill more confidence in him to look to do more. Because I thought his 2 drives in the first half, first Marquette, which was what this team is really lacking. The floater deep in the paint, the other rim attack where he got to the rim. If we don't get more of that, you do become easy to guard.
It's always a big adjustment, a freshman coming to the Big East. What's impressed you about Donovan? Because, not knowing what he was like coming in, you think, oh, that's a guy who's going to get into foul trouble, and it's going to be hard for him to be effective, but it's just been the opposite.
Yeah, he's just a special guy, and I watched him play. Obviously, we maxed out the amount of times we could see him play in high school, and it was always weird when we'd get questions in the summer and the preseason, like, will you be able to play him? It's like, will you be able to play him? People that came in and watched practices in the summer, and just spectators and media that had a chance to see him in the preseason, like, were just pretty blown away by his offensive feel and how alive he is on the court. But those 2 guys, him and Alex, they're what they were able to do in those 2 environments as freshmen, was beyond impressive what those guys did. Donovan's a sponge. Alex is basketball junkie. 2 special guys.
What kind of positives can you take away from this tough stretch of 4 games against the top 4 teams in the league?
Yeah, these people, it sucks to lose. It's painful. It hurts. We're striving to get that regular season. Man, we want that bad. This group wants that bad. We're not out of that. Got to protect home court. We lost in some tough places. Those people have to come back and see us here. We need, obviously, we need XL Center on Sunday to be the type of atmosphere that we've had to play in. That has been real helpful to our opponents. We need that on Sunday. And then this stretch of games, I think, normally you don't play, there's a little bit, you don't play the top teams the way we've played them, but it's been good in terms of identifying, there's been no fool's gold for us the last, in this group of games. We've really had things identified that we've got to try to address the flaws that you find out about only when you lose. And, but the group, it's just, for me, it's like the joy. We need the great crowd, that are behind us and involved in the game from the start, like we've faced. We need the guys to go play with joy. I mean, we're trying to. It's not easy to win a regular season conference championship. It's like it's a grind over a couple months, and you can't get too far behind. And the last time we did it here was 05-06. It's not an easy thing to do, and even in one of the most storied programs in the country. But we can't wear. We can't wear that. We can't want it too bad where we get uptight and that's not the way to get there. The joy, the confidence, the excitement to we're not trying to protect an undefeated season or a top ranking right now. We've got to try to attack what we want to win. And I think we fell into that a little bit.
You got a couple of your guys playing in Springfield this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, Castles particularly seems like from the day you signed him to now is kind of blowing up. And what kind of development have you seen in him?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the guy is it's like the new age guard, point guard skills, combo guard skills, guard 4 or 5 positions, can play make, can score it. I like the fact that he's shooting more threes this year too, which with the consistent 3-point shooting, he's a major problem. I mean, if you can't go under his ball screens and you have got to close out to him at 6'6", 215, is a strong guard. So the guy's got just all the skills, and he's got great parents behind him that are pushing him and telling him the truth. About things he's got to get better at, not just. He's got old school parents, and that helps a lot. And then Jaden, I think is like, he's having that move was a great move for him. He's getting such high level basketball. Lou High is it's just a great situation for him. He's developing a lot, and he's just, he's that type of 3-and-D player that, with the huge upside, with the length and the shooting and the athleticism and positionless type of guy that is exactly what you're looking for in the game. Those 6'7", 6'8" guys that can do a multitude of things. So it'd be fun to see those two guys, and the others are lighting it up too. Solo and Jalen, Youssef. I mean, it's a great group. It's a great group.
Must make you even more excited.
No, it's like great. I mean, listen, if you nail these classes, you see what's Alex and when it'll be great to get Sampson back out there, and you see what Jordan's been able to do and the impact that Andre and Adama, and when you get those high school guys that are really, when they are what you thought they were, it's like, it's like, seriously, man, it's like they just the talent, it's. And these guys, I don't think any of them will be a miss. They're all legit.
When you go see guys that have already signed, what do you look for at this point? Do you just look for improvement in their game, or what's different now as opposed to when you're? Yeah, I mean, you're looking for
just how they're kind of carrying themselves. You obviously you want to, number one, you want to be healthy. You want to see the physical development in terms of putting on some weight and strength in certain situations. Like Jaden and Youssef in particular. I mean, the other 3 guys are pretty physical already. How they're carrying themselves in the game. I mean, the talent level of these guys, how hard they're striving to win, how important that is to them. But really, I think the main thing is we want them watching a lot of our games and getting, and then, communicating with us about things they're seeing, so that that they understand the level and the expectations, and they know more about our style.